Hello everybody and welcome back to the I'm More Virtual Bus YouTube channel. I'm a More Virtual Bus, otherwise known commonly as And More Central or And More Bus Videos. Yes, it's the same person. I never stop. And welcome to Adstow Bus Station. We're back in the bus station once again on the Adstow Project Beta 6. This time with a slightly different bus, we've got a new update to the map, so I thought we'd also give the recent release a go, the Studio Polygon Wheel Forward Streetlite. We're driving the slightly shorter variation, the 8.8 metre, in the lovely new Stagecoach livery with the We've Got You branding applied. So this livery is one that sort of some people love, some people hate, and I thought we'd have a little drive in it, showcase it off, and drive on a route that is intended to be a Stagecoach service in Adstow in the form of the 2A route that operates from here to, I believe, the Tesco Superstore at the moment. Now I am going to change this blind. Unfortunately, the blind doesn't appear to be wanting to properly work today. I don't know why. It's got the dot in the corner, so just pretend we've got like a piece of paper in like front of us or something like that. Because as I say, it's just not wanting to work, unfortunately. Let's see if I can remember this code. That I can't. I can't remember the code. How exciting. Chuck that bag there. Oh, we've got our cash tray. We'll just leave the machine. We'll leave the machine. I've entirely forgotten to get it all locked and set. Come on, boss. There we go. It just decided to switch itself off. Problem with it being incredibly quiet at the front. So as I say, we're operating the 2A service today that runs from here over to the Tesco supermarket. Beacons Park, I believe, is what it's officially called. Oh, okay, that's one way of doing it. So I wanted to sort of drive the wheel forward Streetlite again, just to sort of once again get a feel for how it drives. Because as you all saw in the previous video I did with this, I wasn't 100% fan of how it drives. I mean, I'm not 100% fan of how these drive in real life, if I'm entirely honest. And I've nearly missed the stand. That's fun. I've entirely missed the stand. I took that way too wide. I didn't realise it was literally that stand number one. This is just going to have to be some shocking parking, unfortunately. There we go. At least we all know what service it is. So the 2A is at the moment a 20-minute long bus service operating in competition with the first bus 20 route that we covered in the new first corporate livery 10.8 metre Streetlite. So it does feel quite apt that we're using this vehicle and we're using it in the new livery. The mirror is showing me. Oh, there we go. I was like, how can I see the whole bus in that mirror externally? That's all. So again, apologies about the blind. For some reason, the hot file for the Studio Polygon products does seem to be plain silly buggers for some reason. I don't know why. It'll be something very, very minor. The Stagecoach blind, as you saw at the beginning, works, so that's why I displayed that. The not in service blind works as well. It's just a number of the additional blinds that just don't seem to want to play ball like they should be. So So I believe we follow relatively the same route as the 20. It'll be interesting to see any deviations, and it'll also be quite interesting to see if we notice any differences in the scenery. Because obviously with the 20 service extended a little bit, this is a little bit shorter. So it'll be cool to see what similarities and differences there are. Still get used to this camp position. I know someone mentioned to me in the comments of the video I did last on this bus that was now from when this video releases, actually a month or two back, mentioned that there is like a mod that you can get to change the camera perspective. But if I do change it and I do move it a little bit further forward or out like that, oh no, broken, okay. And I do move it a little bit further forward, anything like that, I think it'll just disorientate me even more. So I'll probably be best just leave it. Stick a light on. I do also love how this specification has the bucket seats on it. I do seriously rate that. Proper stagecoachy, and then you remember it's like a rights vehicle, and you're like, a rights vehicle with Stagecoach in 2012? It was an odd decision for them to get these, but this one that we're driving, registration of a reflector vehicle in South Wales, I don't know if any have actually been painted into this new livery or not. When I did a little bit of research, I couldn't find any. Oh my goodness me, what's going on with this cable? God, that skidded itself about a little bit then. So I had to stop, I sort of felt it skidding. There we go. Now just ignore me in the background trying to load up the user manual for the Streetlite, because I entirely forgot how to log into the machine. Joys of joys, joys of joys. User manual, ticketing guide. There we go, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. I don't have it. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. Eh? That isn't right. What on earth? That isn't. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a new bit of trivia that I wasn't expecting. Okay, and we are definitely just gonna have to run without that then, I think. There we go. Forgot what the steering was like on smaller vehicles in this game. It does seem to be a little bit, especially on this tiny one, it does seem to be doing a lot of understeering, a lot. Oh, they don't want me, okay, they want the 20 then, clearly. So this corridor, the idea behind it is, from the developer's perspective, is to have what is currently just the 2A, but it's going to be the 2 and 2A at some point in the future, competing against the first plus 20 service along this corridor. So the 20 service goes up to St Stephen's, the 2A I believe just goes to the retail park, and there's the 2 that's going to, I think, also go to the retail park. I don't know if it's going to do a slightly different route or not. But looking at the HOF file that we've been given, there's quite a list of other services as well. Presumably some will be AI, initially, and some will be service routes that are going to sort of correspond as part of the town network. Now again, we're going to remember this is a work in progress, so there might be bits of it that are not 100% yet. There might be bits of it that still need finalising, and bits that don't represent the full final product. So again, we're just going to bear all that in mind when we look at this. This is someone's personal product and personal project, and they've worked on this for years and years, as I have mentioned in all the previous videos I've done on the Adstow project, especially in Beta 6. I remember this map being in production when I was doing quite a lot in the OMSI 2 world, a lot more than I do now. I mean, that was quite a few years ago. So this is like a properly big passion project, is this. Something that the person developing it has put a lot of effort into. So we've got to bear that in mind when we look at this and may see something that isn't totally finalised, isn't representative of a final release product. Because again, it is still in beta stage, there is still bits to work on, and this is literally one person's handiwork. So one person has made all of this, that again, absolutely cracking, as I have said in previous videos. It's a shame that OMSI 2 still has an issue with these small vehicles. It is a shame that it really does struggle to map out the smaller vehicles. I mean, don't get me wrong, having driven quite a few of these Will Forest Streetlites, I know how shocking the steering lock actually is on them, and what we are driving is relatively representative of that. But again, it would still be quite nice to have a little bit more grasp over feeling like you're driving a tiny bus rather than obviously panicking and going, oh my gosh, it must be huge, and not understanding that smaller vehicles exist. But again, it is a good model. The detail and the accuracy on this model, as I did say in the previous video I did with it, it is as painful as driving the thing in real life. There is nothing against the production of the bus in any shape or form, but it does show the realism of driving these in real life. Now, I'm one of the very few people that has actually driven one of these in real life, and had that pleasure as such of driving these in real life. Sometimes displeasure, sometimes pleasure. Depends on the vehicle, depends on the size and spec and all of that. But I've driven a couple of these, and I will say that they're probably one of my least favourite vehicles to drive. Generally, don't get me wrong, there are positives. These feature kick down, unlike standard Streetlites and solos, so they do fly off the mark. But the handling, the steering, your driving position, it's very, very difficult driving in this position to be able to judge your road. Your mirrors can very, very easily go askew as well, and it does feel like the driving position was really, really botched together. That is how you do feel when you drive one of these in real life as well. I do wonder when these lights are going to change, because we have lost quite a lot of time at temporary traffic lights so far in this video. We seem to have done quite well in like the past 4 or 5 videos, where we've been relatively sort of smooth all the way through, but for some reason we seem to have just now lost a load of time. So we lost the time at those other lights that we must have literally just missed. And again, we must have literally just missed these. But one thing as well, as you can see there, that I always struggle with these, even in real life, is remembering your wheels at the front, because you're that... Oh, it is a bit skiddy. There we go. Well, that unfortunately is OMSI 2 physics for you. It's OMSI 2 physics on a small vehicle. It panics. I mean, you get the exact same when you're driving a car in the game. For example, if you get one of the car mods that they did a few years ago, and if you get any of them, you get the exact same thing where it just skids about. There's not much you can do. It's the joys of smaller vehicles. I mean, we've all driven the E200 MFC Midi, the 8.9 metre. We know the crap. We know what it's like. And having driven an E200 MMC MIDI, I can say that, don't get me wrong, they are much lighter driving, but they are also much more stuck to the ground than OMSI 2 Reflex. Same just with these, it's the real life driving position that I think really does it for me. It's just not the vibe. But again, the fact that this has been modelled into OMSI 2 so accurately, that is something I can moan about. I think says something about how detailed this Studio Polygon product is. I mean, don't get me wrong, Studio Polygon products always detailed, always accurate, always spot on. And once again, this is no difference to that. And it was something that we had to have. I mean, we had the main Streetlite, so it was daft not to have a wheel forward one. Especially as we do seem to be going through a period of sort of little minibuses at the moment. Like we've obviously got the Solo, we've had the E200 MMC for some time, we've got this. So it's quite nice to represent the smaller vehicles. I think the next things that are coming up quite exciting on the Studio Polygon site. You can see on there at the moment that the Rights Fusion Bendibus pack's being worked on. That's going to be really exciting, bit of retro there for us that I am incredibly looking forward to. I've been on some B7 LAs. I went on B10 LAs as a kid when I was very, very young. Researched them deeply, and I am incredibly excited for the Rights Fusion Bendibus pack to come out. We've also got the Dennis Dart pack on its way as well. We have been after a proper good Dennis Dart in OMSI 2 for years, and as soon as Studio Polygon puts that name against a vehicle like that, you know you are going to get a good vehicle. You're going to get a good mod to drive in OMSI. And the Dennis Dart will be certainly no different at all. So you've got to remember that when you do buy these buses, you do buy these products, that the money that you are spending on them that goes into it, I think it's an incredibly reasonable price for the high quality, the detail you get on them. That money then goes straight back into the future projects. It's like when you spend money on this, that's time that the developer, Studio Polygon, that's more time that they have to be able to spend on the other projects, and future projects will be out sooner, and more time and love and care will be able to be spent on them. So it really does work out in the long run. It does work out in the long run for sure. Definitely that Dennis Dart is going to be high up there for sure. I'm incredibly excited about that. Having driven a few darts in my time, I'm very, very excited for the Dennis Dart pack. I'm also very excited for the Rights Fusion pack, both of which are going to be absolutely awesome. Really, really will be. There are a few other bits and bobs in the works and bits, but lots of exciting stuff at present. It's also remembering, like, to get close to the curb. I think that, again, I mean, even in real life with these, it's a difficulty to get really close to the curb because just of where your angle is. And you obviously, from here, you really can't see down to the curb because of how high your door is, because, again, of how high you're sat. Like, I'd argue there's absolutely no need for this cab position to be as high as it is on these wheel forward Streetlites. I think that's what really makes it difficult to drive them, where the cab position is just ridiculously high. I mean, it's like that, for example, that looks in that mirror a lot closer than it is, but then again, that's the angle that I've got on the mirror because of the cab position. Because it's not a case of sort of looking over there, it's a case of having to properly crane to see that mirror. That, again, is a real life issue as well. Is a very, very much a real life issue. No, we want that camera angle. And I need to turn it. Oh, it's raining. The weather has turned. it seems. Look at how far away I am from that curb. Good God. It's just so it's these vehicles. It's driving this bus in real life. Seriously, it is just as bad for understanding your angles. But then again, you look at that and it's like I'm practically on the curb. But again, this isn't knocking the development of the bus in any shape or form. This is knocking the realism. It's that realistic. I mean, don't get me wrong. Studio Polygon could have made this so that it was easier to drive in OMSI by possibly slightly lowering the driving position, changing the angle of the mirror to make life easier, but no, it's been made so realistic that you have the exact same complications driving this now that you do in real life as well. That is just ace. It is absolutely brilliant that a bus has been made that accurate in OMSI that I can moan about it like I would a real life one of these. But again, they are nice to drive. You're based on your kick down and your acceleration. It's just your handling and your cab position. If it wasn't for that, these would be truly beautiful buses to drive. If they were just slightly lower driving position, just like a Solo, they just had that going for them. They'd be lovely. What you also notice with this wheel forward Streetlite, if you don't have it for whatever reason, do make sure you buy it. Like, come on, what are you doing? If you don't have it, you'll notice that the sounds are ever so slightly different to the standard Streetlite, and that's because, yes, the wheel forward Streetlites do tend to sound a little bit different. They tend to have a little less soundproofing on it. They tend to sound a little bit louder and a little bit more, with a little bit more character as well. So you notice a very, very subtle difference. Why? Oh, why? Okay. I thought the car was about to drive into the then, and I'm like, oh, that was their first. That was good now. Again, it's just not being able to do a turn like that because but again, it's very much an OMSI thing. You drive any of the other minibus products that we've got. I mean, the Solo's very bad for it, and you'll notice the exact same shit. So yeah, so that was the 2-8 service. Enjoyed that, and that was nice. Relatively short and sweet route. Took us a bit longer than it blooming well should have done. That was just because of the traffic lights and the junction. But I hope I didn't miss a light set on that. If I did, then please let me know in the comments. I will check the video back. Please let me know in the comment. While I was trying to search for the user manual. But yeah, a nice motor, a lovely repaint as well. It does really go nicely with obviously the hostile Stagecoach blind on here, and with the fact that we use the ultraviolet Streetlite on the competing 20 service. So you just feel like it's pretty cool. So that, as I say, is the 2A. It was nice to sort of see scenery in a different light, drive it in a slightly different weather, see a few differences with the route, and obviously see how this performs in contrast to I've got the different panel from that see how it sort of drives in contrast to the standard Streetlite on the route. It was really interesting to see because obviously there are differences, there are very, very subtle differences with it that you do notice. Bits like that you can't tell. I get the panel back, I've lost the panel. Oh, anyway. So yeah, I do hope you have enjoyed. That is the joys of clicking buttons. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have done, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. If you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the More Virtual Bus YouTube channel for more content like this from the Adstow project, as well as some of the other upcoming maps, exclusive previews, and absolutely all sorts coming up. Lots of exciting content I keep being sent through on the emails, so lots of exciting stuff to come along. So do, as I say, keep your eyes out. Do make sure you subscribe and check out the previous playlist of videos. There's been a lot on the Adstow Project Beta 6, lots of the brand new routes featuring and bits like that in here. So go and have a little look at them. There's also exclusives on the Lincolnshire update, and I will be showcasing another video on that very soon. And again, if you do have any buses, repaints or maps that you are working on and you'd like me to showcase them on the channel, you can always email me at amc.andmorecentral@gmail.com. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.